So Céad Míle Fáilte le Gach Duine, you're 100,000 times welcome to Kerry Writers Museum, to our beautiful cyber space with the huge rooms. Look, the walls are so far away and the ceiling is miles away. It is way up there, so it is. And we have a great night tonight. We have a fantastic night. We have a local woman. Her name is Frances Kennedy. She needs no introduction at all. And at the end of her set, she might do, you're doing a CD, aren't you, Frances, at the moment for charity? So maybe we could hear a little of that at the very end of your set, if you don't mind, because we're a little family and we're supporting one another, and any support for this at all, it's a great cause, would be gratefully accepted. So now, how are you, Frances? Are you looking forward to tonight?
Sure, I might, Maria. I'm wondering what did I let myself into. But Listowel, you never know what surprises comes out of Listowel.
Well, that's it. I'm sure many's the night we sang into the night. You know,
Oh,
there's a few of us hardened sessioners here. Dominic Bennett, I see him there. You know, and yourself, Frances. You know, so yeah.
but looking at it there, it's like a Writers' Week event. There's so many of our friends from the healing session here. And I see Johnny McKelligot. Johnny would be in your position there at the actual Rambling House
That's
when
right.
it's on in the Shanachie. And the picture behind me there, the white building behind me here, is the Shanachie, the Kerry Writers Museum. And this is our beautiful town, the backdrop behind me here.
Fantastic. And I'm delighted now that you told me Johnny McKelligot is here because he's not safe now after that. So I might call him in to say hello when you're finished. So I'm going to let you off, Francis, to do your turn. It'll be half an hour in the beginning, just so that everybody knows. After that, we have a fantastic open mic set up, and everybody has 10 minutes, up to 10 minutes. So you can do under 10 minutes, but don't go over the 10 minutes or you will hear the famous Kerry bell. This is it. And then there'll be somebody sent with a great hook to pull you off the screen. So without further ado, I am so excited to hear Frances Kennedy again. She always lifts my heart and my spirits. Off you go, Frances.
Thank you, Maria, and welcome everybody to our beautiful downtown virtual of Listowel. And like I said, there's our Kerry Writers Museum, the white building there behind us, where there's great nights had, and Listowel is a great spot to be in. For those of you that don't know, we're in North Kerry in beautiful Ireland, and Listowel has won the tidiest town and through the years, and there's a great team of people here. And tonight we're joined by Johnny McKelligot, who is the MC for when the session is live in the Shanachie and when the ramblers ramble in to him. So, dear Dit, and hello to you all there. Come stroll through my memory and time to the days we could go gallivanting outside the 5K limit line. We could go to a session or dancing. The high stool, it was not enough things to sing and tell stories till morning. In the pub, we were snug and content. Now to Patsy I say, Cunnest Tartu. His reply is, I'm living not high, while I'm like the cracked jug on the dresser, the best side I turn out to the eye. To get through this lockdown, they tell us, communication is surely the key. It means that I've got to start talking. That was never a problem for me. So I tried to talk to the postman. He threw the letters and ran out my gate with masks and with social distancing. Good gossip is hard to relate. So cheer up and please be so careful. We're going crazy from lockdown at home. Put a cap on your head and go walking, but stick to the 5K limit zone. So I talk to myself in the kitchen, upstairs and while making the bed, and sometimes I think they agree with me, but maybe 'tis all in my head. Well, I talked about this to the microwave and toasted while drinking my tea. We agreed things are getting bad as far as we all could foresee. The vacuum was not sympathetic. Suck it up was all it did say. The iron said it wasn't so pressing. The wrinkles would be ironed away. The toilet looked flushed and said nothing. The doorknob told me, get a grip. The curtain said, pull yourself together. The mat said, you're in for one hell of a trip. The fan gave me hope for the future and said it would blow over soon, for the vaccine in Cork made by Pfizer would be given to make us immune. Now good times we surely will see soon, when freedom and joy will abound. If Pfizer can rise the dead, sure, 'twill keep us living and over the ground. Well, folks, that's one day just put together. I suppose we're still in the 5K lockdown, but you know, we'll keep the spirits up and we'll be out and about again. I wonder what the older generation would have thought of it. The rambling house, I suppose I would have grown up in a rambling house. My father came from Rockchapel. We lived in Fremont in North Cork, and we had great neighbours. And my father would tell stories and my mother would tell stories, and she'd make great corn cake and God, apple tarts and everything. And the neighbours, the Barrys, Jack Sheehan, you'd have all the neighbours would gather in at night to hear the stories and to bring the local gossip and, you know, things like that. And most of them are gone to meet their maker now. But this piece was written by Paddy Faley, a great writer there from Ballyhahel, County Limerick. And I think it encapsulates life as it was back in those days. Before we heard the wireless or the television we did watch, we sat cosily around our firesides beneath our roof of thatch, and we heard the fairy stories told, entertaining old and young, and our hearts were filled with rapture as we heard the old songs sung. As the flames from the big turf fire set our house aglow, there was a little bit of heaven in the Irish homes of long ago. The cricket from the hob sang out as if to join the fun. The dog would gaze and seem to smile beside the fireside lying. The music from the fiddle chased all our cares away, and the piper's lively tuning made every heart feel gay. And there upon the flagstone we tapped it heel and toe in a lively reel or polka set in the Irish homes of long ago. In innocent, simple pastimes, young and old would all take part, and their loud, joyous laughter would rise the cockles of your heart, while the housewife with her needles did busily knit and sew, as we all enjoyed the merriment in the Irish homes of long ago. The wholesome conversation was of interest to all, and local matters were discussed, and problems big and small. They thrashed out the relations till no one had any doubt of whose blood they inherited in their ancestral roots. Always ready to help each other in any grief and woe, the true spirit of God was in them in the Irish homes of long ago. Before the advent of machinery, the labourer won praise for his skill and endurance in the long hour working days. They enjoyed their work with scythe and spade and returned thanks to God for his blessings on their homesteads and the big families they had. And there upon their knees at night to heaven their prayers would go as the rosary was recited in the Irish homes of long ago. Well, I suppose that's the Irish home kind of life that I would have grown up with as well, and that many of the people that come to the live Rambling House, that is what we all seem to know. But I'm thinking this year, and our world has seen many, many changes. The site is up as an ornament, up probably a design on it, and you know, this life has totally changed. But of all the changes I have seen, the last year beats them all. Who could believe that doors would be shuttered in pubs, in church and hall, and a computer in your pocket? It's a phone to take your call, but it does text, Zoom, Skype, camera. It even replaces the bank and all. It will count the beats of your heart or the steps you take each day. And with Google Maps, it will ensure you'll never go astray. Where before you get a friendly call, now it's a text saying, hi, LOL, and goodbye. LOL. Lots of love. Oh, that was never there when I was going to school. And you were taught to spell your words, not abbreviate them as the rule. But now even the ones older than me have got into the act. With OMG and ATD, that's at the doctors, as you can guess. But when this lockdown is over, I'll have learned to send a text and I'll invite my friends to call with this new slang text with, hi, OMG, I'm having a party. BYOT and fart a lot. Francis and Patsy. BYOT, bring your own teeth. Patsy's not the best in the kitchen. Fart a lot is not the windy sort. Too rude to mention. No, fart is fast action response to, and a lot is alcohol left on table. So when you get my text, be sure and give a call. We'll forget our social distancing. We'll dance, we'll sing, and we'll have a ball. So wait for it. Hi, OMG, I'm having a party. BYOT and fart a lot. Francis and Patsy. LOL. So that's one I was eating the other day there, and I put that together. Just a little bit of nonsense, because all we're seeing now, especially from the younger generation, is these texts, and you're saying, what is that? They shorten all the words. Maria's great for shortening them all. Oh, she's writing there now. She is all that slang. And Dominic Bennett and Michelle McCormack. Oh my God, sure could hardly read a text at all from them. But Paddy Reagan now out there, he's like myself. Sure, Paddy and Cara, they can hardly read an ordinary text. Do you know, there might be about 20 words in one line that they'd be trying to say, but do you know the phones can get you into a bit of problems as well, so it can. Wait till I tell you. Wait till I tell you now. This fella, he was over the road from us here now, and he was working away. And do you know, the mother-in-law, staying with him, do you know, because of lockdown now and everything, that sure, she was too far away on her own, so she moved in with them, do you know, and they have their own little pod there, do you know, with the children and everything, you see. But the mother-in-law was out shopping the other day, and when she came home, there was the son-in-law, Paddy. He was home after working away for a few weeks, and there he was, and he in an office state inside in the house, and he giving out, and she cursing, and he packing his bags to go again. I'm going, he said, I'm going. And the mother-in-law said, what happened, Paddy? What happened? He said, what happened? I'll tell you what happened, he said. I sent an email to my wife, your daughter, telling her that I was coming home today. And guess what I found when I came home? Oh, yes, your daughter, my wife, Jean, upstairs cavorting with another fella. That's unforgivable, he said. It's the end of our marriage, he said. I'm leaving forever. I know, calm down, Paddy, said the mother-in-law. Calm down, Bayeen. Sure, that's very odd. There must be something going on. My daughter would never do a thing like that. There must be a simple explanation to it. I'll go up and I'll speak to her immediately and I'll find out, because there have to be an explanation to that. And a few minutes later, the mother-in-law came down and she said, well, she said, Paddy, she said, didn't I tell you there had to be a simple explanation to it? Sure, she never got your email. So the phones can let you down too, so they could. But, you know, I suppose going back to years, things were very different. People stayed together longer because I suppose they had no alternative, really. That they didn't have the money or maybe the second job, that they were independent. But, you know, there's an old story told here in Listowel about a couple that were married there, and actually Johnny McElligott might actually know this couple now. And the priest was in town. Out goes the priest to see him anyway. He had heard to see that they weren't getting on great, you see. And he was advising them, you know, maybe a bit of counselling or something like that would help, you know. And yeah, he was all meeting deaf ears anyway. He was sitting there with a puss in her, and she was sitting with a puss in her at the other side of the fire, and the two of them, they were no meeting. But what the priest noticed, wasn't the dog lying in a corner in beside the fire? And what was it? But wasn't the cat lying half on top of him, and the cat sleeping half on top of him, was there? And the priest said, he said, no, he said, can't he take example from these two animals? Look at the cat and dog and the affection that these two creatures are showing each other. Couldn't you be the same? And the woman got up and she went over and she opened the drawer, and out of the drawer she took out a bit of twine and she gave it to the priest, and she said, now, she said, tie them together, she said, and we'll see how long that contentment lasts. So I suppose there's another little story told about the lady that wasn't getting on with the husband, which would be more of maybe a more modern kind of idea. And she went into the pharmacist, and she said to the pharmacist, she called him over and she said, I'm looking for arsenic. He said, woman, dear, he said, what do you want arsenic for? Oh, she said, I'm looking for arsenic. She said, I want to kill my husband. She said, good God, she said, I can't give you arsenic for that reason. And moreover, he said, I'll have to report you to the guards. And she said, oh, hold on a minute now. She said, I have my reason. And she started to fudge around inside in her handbag. And out of her handbag, she took out a photo. And she handed over the photo to the pharmacist. And what was the photo? Only a photo of her husband and the pharmacist's wife in a very compromising position. And the pharmacist looked at it, and he looked at it, and he looked at it, and he said, hold on a minute. I'll get you the arsenic, he said. You never told me you had a prescription for it. So it's very strange on this Zoom thing. We're used to a bit of interaction and what have you like that. So I'll move swiftly on there, and I'll do a local song written by, I'll take some of this now. A song that I really like, and it was written by Neil Brosnan. Neil is a local man here, and I suppose this song would mean a lot to us, I presume, in Listowel, and especially me, because where I lived for 30 years in Listowel was at the hospital gate, where the workhouse would have been. And the people that died in the workhouse in famine years in Listowel, there's one story told about how, You see, they'd be buried in Tomboleen Bond. Tomboleen Bond was the famine graveyard out towards the Ballybunnon Road. And they'd be taken down Boreen Dove, a small little roadway from the hospital, straight across the field. And they'd be buried in unmarked graves without coffins and that, taken down Boreen Dove. And some woman, she was from Ballyduff, and her last breath, she didn't want the husband to be buried in the famine graveyard with no name. And the woman who was dying herself in the workhouse, she carried the husband on her back the railway tracks, all the way to Ballyduff to bury him with their own people there. So I suppose since I came to town here in Listowel, we have heard so much about Tomboleen Bond. And Neelis Brosnan wrote this song a few years ago, and I must say I really like it. On Good Friday morning, I went for a stroll along John B. sidewalk just west of Listowel. The hedgerows reached out, begging brambles so bare, as sharp as the March winds that slice through the air. I paused for a while by the old workhouse site, where some people swear they hear wailing at night. And all of a sudden I found myself drawn down Boreen Dove onto Tomboleen Bond. As sweet as the berry, as cruel as its thorn, life's struggle commences the moment we're born. And as sure as a lark sings in lyric from pond, the banshee will answer from Tomboleen Bond. With Easter being early and spring coming late, the hawthorn stretch lifeless inside the front gate. No primrose or bluebell or dandelion glow to brighten the gloom in this acre of woe. In lacquer and litter, in leet and smile, they left blighted haggards and exhausted soil. Some bargain safe passage, their futures in pawn. The rest found the workhouse and Tomboleen Bond. As sweet as the berry, as cruel as its thorn, life's struggle commences the moment we're born. And as sure as a lark sings in lyric from pond, the banshee will answer from Tomboleen Bond. Our exile soon spread the sad news far and wide. The proud Choctaw nation soon ate on the tide. For hunger and hardship they knew all too well, and likewise the choice between Connacht and Hell. Now natives of Rahi do often have headstones in Boston, New York, and LA. While Maureen and Noreen, Paddy and Sean lie forever nameless in Tomboleen Bond. As sweet as the berry, as cruel as its thorn, life's struggle commences the moment we're born. And as sure as a lark sings in lyric from pond, the banshee will answer from Tomboleen Bond. Now that is Neil Brosnan's lovely song, Tomboleen Bond. I suppose Tomboleen Bond there is beside the school. So I think it's great to see that the school is back. I know they've holidays today for Easter, fair play, and it's great. And we look forward to see the children back full time to school, and we look forward to see a lift in this again. But it's great to see the few buses that are in front of the schools these days. And I was passing there yesterday and I see the few buses picking up the kids. This came to mind. It was written by Jim Nolan from Michael in Carlow, and it's one I used to do a lot around the 80s, but gosh, I haven't done it in years. But I think when it is a rambling house, it might suit tonight. So I'll chance this one. Sure, I was crossing the schoolhouse the other morning, and the bus was parked at the gate. Well, with the cars and the bus, the whole roadway was jammed, so I just had to sit there and wait. And somehow I couldn't help but feel sorry for all those young kids as they got out of the cars and the bus. Maybe they liked being carried to school, but they wouldn't have memories like us. They wouldn't have memories of going back after Christmas when there was snow and frost on the ground. Or we'd throw snowballs at each other on the way down to school, and we'd slide on every icy patch that we found. And somehow we never minded the cold, huh? Sure, we never had a cough or a sneeze, but now the school will close straight away if the heat is under 20 degrees. I remember throwing snowballs in the village one evening when old Rogers came out of the shop. Well, he started shouting at us at the top of his voice. This racket will all have to stop. I'm going for the guards this minute if you don't get to hell out of here. Well, Smiley had hadn't the snowball with the heel of his boot. Well, he pelted him into the ear. Well, after that, everyone started to cruise him as they never cruised it before. And I can tell you, he got the message and he didn't interfere anymore. And the memories we have of the summertime, oh sure. I remember the golden rule. Our boots were all polished and shoved under the stairs, and we went in the bare ones to school. Oh, how we used to love to splash in the puddles after a shower on a warm summer's day and throw mud at each other with our bare feet in the school ground where we used to play. And do you remember the stone bruise that you'd get on your foot? You surely remember it, Paddy. When you would stand on a hard granite stone. Sure, sometimes you'd stand in a broken bottle. Your foot would be cut to the bone. Well, you were never sent to the doctor. Oh, no. There was no injections or pills. Your mother was the nurse and the doctor, and she had the cure for all ills. The linseed meal poultice was your man for the stone bruise, and a good dose of salt for the day. And you'd be hopping on one leg from the house to the haggard, and you were in problems if you stopped on the way. And I remember the memories we have of finding birds' nests. We used to search all the bushes and trees. Many the torn we got in our hands and cuts and scrapes in our knees. I remember myself and Smiley Kavanagh found a goldfinch's nest concealed in a hawthorn tree, but we wouldn't tell the rat ready where we found it. I bet you I'll find it, says he. Well, he mitched for 2 days till he found it, and then, you know what he done? He waited for us. He threw the nest on the ground, and then he started to run. But we soon overtook him, and we took off his trousers, and we laid him face down in the grass. And Smiley got a bunch of needles off the side of the ditch, and he landed him down in his bare legs. Well, he cursed, and she swore like a trooper. I never heard such a yell when Smiley said to me, "Hiya, hiya." turned him over. We want to do the front part as well. Well, somehow the master must have had tell of it, for the next day when he failed in his test, he said, "'Tis a pity you weren't as good at your lessons as you are at robbing a poor goldfinch's nest." And I remember poor old Mrs. Riley. Oh, God, I hope she's in heaven today. But I'm telling you, we'll never get there if that old won us her way. She always said we were badly reared curs. She said a bowed and an impudent crew. She said of all the chinkers that passed by her gate, we were the worst she ever knew. She used to always keep a few good-laying hens, and they were running with a Rhode Island red. She said he was a purebred and a registered bird, that he came from pedigree stock. Oh, she said, to see that bio strolling around in the yard, you'd swear he was as lazy as sin. But he has the speed of a greyhound when it comes to overtaking a hen. Well, the cock was in the air one evening, with his head in the air and he crowing. Smiley took aim through the bars of the gate. He opened his head with a stone. Well, the next morning, and we going to school, she was mixing food in the tub. Well, she ran to the gate with fire in her eyes, like a tiger after losing her cub. The names. Oh, the names she called us that morning. I haven't had them since or before. And it wasn't Mavonin, Alana, or a store. No, there was a lump of fresh coal dropping where Smiley was standing. Although it was a bit thin, he got a size of a lump on the front of his boot when he landed it straight on her chin. Well, we never waited to hear what she called him, for we all started to run. And you know, he must be afraid that she'd kill him, for he never went to school after that. Sure, look, they're just a few memories that passed through my mind as I sat outside the school gate. Sure, I know I have more I remember, but sure, I haven't the time to relate. Now, I know those kids looked happy enough when they got out of the cars and the bus. But sure, maybe they'd be better off walking to school. Then they too could have memories like us.
Ah, that's beautiful. Thank you so much, Francis. That's brilliant altogether. Great coming in to see you, you know. You're getting beautiful comments there in the chat, and I'm sure there's more to come. We have a wounded woman. Her name is Noreen. She had a tooth extraction today, and she said you've just completely lifted her spirits, and she's laying on the bed listening to you. So, yeah, so that's brilliant. I really love the consummate performer that Francis is. Like, we had singing there, we had spoken word, we had great memories. We went off down memory road. I was looking at the faces, Francis, and everybody was throwing their heads back laughing. And I can't wait for the day when we'll have it live again, you know. So, because it's
actually magic. You can't beat live performance.
Sure you can't indeed, you know. I'm going to bring our lovely Johnny McElligott in there now. Just 1 second. And I'm going to spotlight him away there as well. Oh,
the one thing